Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, May 8th, 2023. I hope you all had a good weekend and a good start to May. We've had some rain off and on, some good weather, and temperatures are starting to go up. I actually had the AC on today to cool it down in here, so that tells you it's getting warm. I did that rather than have the door open. So, I know that there's a lot of stuff going on around the world and some scary stuff in different states and different things. So, all this crazy stuff happening. My heart goes out to these people who are struggling with all these incidents that are going on. I hope we as a country, and even those of you that are watching from around the world, can find a way to get along and take care of each other. It's really distressing to see some of the crazy stuff going on in the world and without rhyme or reason why it even happens. So, anyway, as you may have seen earlier today, I posted a video, a quick video from TikTok, and basically it was reviewing the status of the Mach 1 project. You probably saw, and if you watched that video, that I have the floor pan sitting on the jig. I set the frame rails in place, test fitted the firewall, and lo and behold, everything fit the jig. Who'd have thunk it? I did have one issue with one of the bolt holes on the forward, it would be on the passenger side bumper bracket, the rear bolt hole. Something was wrong with the threads, so I had to tap that hole and then run the bolt into it, and it worked out fine. The other things are all like sitting where they're supposed to. So I really can't complain about the quality of these parts at this point. Now the floor pan, the firewall, and a bunch of other parts are Dynacorn. The aprons with the shock towers are actually from CJ Classics, if I remember correctly. And they're pretty well made, but I will give you some insight. We are still going to modify those pieces. Now, we are trying to salvage as many original parts out of that Mach 1 that we can. One of the things that is kind of important is some of the serial numbers or VIN numbers. And on the shock towers, on the tops between the aprons, there is a stamping. And the owner and I have talked it over, and what we're going to do, because even though these shock towers are very similar to what's in the car with the big block extra brace, the original ones are actually built better, thicker metal on the doubler piece, and so I will be sectioning out some of those pieces in order to put the original pieces back in. Along with that, there will be a variety of other pieces and parts that I salvaged from the original car. It's just the way it is. I know people can say, well, you should have just bought a whole nother car and, swap bins or whatever. Or this is, way too much to do. And I get all that. And I'm sure, as the owner has already admitted, he will hear people complain about the project and what we're doing and, even the modifications that are coming. There will be some custom work done to this body. It'll be a resto mod, just so you know. But there's people that complain and want to say it's not worth it or it's too much or whatever. Well, guess what? They're not the ones paying the bills. That's the reality of it. The car we know is in really bad shape, and it could have easily just been scrapped, right, and gone forever. But at least in this case, we are going to save some of the car and carry on some of its legacy within the new structure that gets put together. So it's going to be interesting to move forward. I'm really happy with how those pieces are fitting right now. There will be modifications to the firewall because we're going to try to use what we can of the original firewall if possible. And then the bottom half we're going to have to expand because we're putting a bigger transmission in, so there'll be modifications for that to get that to work right. He is coming up with he has a plastic engine that he's going to bring to me as a mock-up, and also he's going to get me a transmission housing so we have that full setup. That'll be really cool to be able to test fit all that stuff. Similar to what I did on the convertible, as you all know. Other than that, there will be some custom suspension underneath the car. It'll still retain the shock towers, but there will be some custom work done. And he's going so far as to put in, I believe he's putting in the electric steering. We're going to put in, I think, a rack. I forget what all. There's a bunch of stuff happening. And it's going to be really fun to put all that stuff together. So, along with that, I am a little distracted right now. There is an active auction sale going on, and it is actually what's left of my brother's possessions that he had in Pennsylvania. And I am bidding on some items. As you know, the Studebaker behind me, that was his car, 64 Commander, probably a Commander Special. And at one point in this car, he had, whether it was a 289 or 259, but it was a supercharged, he had a supercharger on it from Studebaker. And when I got the car, I'd hoped that maybe that supercharger was in the trunk or still in the car. I have not seen it. However, at the auction that's going on, there is an engine being sold that not only has, it's a Studebaker engine, but there's a transmission, and also it appears to be the supercharger. Thanks to Roger for pointing that out to me, because he was checking out the auction as well. So I am 6 minutes and 50 seconds away, hopefully, from winning that lot of items. And we're going to see how this plays out. So if I get a little distracted while we're having our chat here, just know that I have something I need to focus on. There's a few other items that are being sold. Well, there's a lot of other items, honestly, but there's a few that I'm bidding on that I'd like to get. So that's where we're at right now. 6 minutes remaining on the first item that I want to get, which is the engine with the supercharger. I'm also trying to find out if the other car that I had maybe mentioned before, I had shown this car is a one of the cars that was up at the junkyard, and I want to, if possible, salvage what I can from this car. I think I still have a picture of it. Let me see if I can find that one, because I have a bunch of these pictures. So yeah, this is what's left of that car. Obviously, it's falling apart. There's not much to salvage as far as the main body. However, I could tell you that car has the R1 Avanti engine in it, twin traction rear end, power steering, power brakes, power disc brakes, by the way. Their big transmission, and from what my dad has told me, and I found this a little interesting, that car has original factory installed traction bars. Yeah, factory installed. Dealer or factory installed, whatever, traction bars. And they were not like your typical ones that go underneath the leaf spring. He said they were up on top. So a totally different configuration than what we have probably seen in most cars. So I'm now 4 minutes away from winning, possibly winning that engine and some other items. So just bear with me on this. I want to keep everybody in the loop on it, and make sure that I don't miss out on this opportunity. You know, if I can salvage that other car, I probably will try to put the Avanti engine back into this car, because I don't feel like that's the original engine in it. And my brother always wanted to do that. He wanted to take those parts out of that car and put them in this car. And my dad always told him no, couldn't do it. My brother did take the speedometer out of that car. It's a 160 speedo, and it is in this car. That is the only item that he was able to get off of that car. So I'm now just under 3 minutes, or about 3 minutes and 55 seconds away. So I have done a video on this car. I did a walk around. I went into some great detail as to issues and problems that it will have. And as I maybe mentioned before, I have heard from some other people that you can still get the front fenders for these cars, NOS, for like $150 to $250 a piece. And I'm going to be happy to pay that. I can tell you that right now. The fenders that are on this car are really bad. And if I can get NOS fenders, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So, just real quick, I've got 3 minutes and 19 seconds. We're going to see who is here first, and that is Rick Gain. Hi, hope all are well. Hit like, subscribe, and thumbs up. Barry deserves it for sure. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that very much. Let me check my status. Check my status. I'm getting close. 2 minutes, 54 seconds. Might be a little bit of a lag on that. Terry Keithley. Good evening, Barry and all, or evening, Barry and all. Please hit the like and thumbs up for Barry. Thank you kindly. And Terry, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. I know you had emailed me earlier with problems going on. Let me just see what this does. I want to make sure I got this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. I'm still here. Don't want to panic. Don't want to panic. I feel like I'm going to win the bid. I'm just saying it's you know how it is. You try to bid on something and last minute somebody jumps in there and steals it from you. RC Guy Garage, Tim. Glad to hear Tim. He says, however some do. He's referring to my thumbnail that I put up for the live stream tonight, that you don't just slap a car together. And that's still my statement is true. Glad you're here. Leonard Gilbreth. Evening all. How's everyone doing this evening? Glad you're here, Leonard. Hope all is well with you. And Dave Conville. Good evening all. Glad you're here, Dave. All right. Let's see what we're doing. 1 minute, 34 seconds. Says I'm winning. Doesn't tell me what the number is. Okay. Roger checking in from next door. Glad you're here, Raj. And I apologize for this. I don't schedule these auctions. You know, these other people have scheduled it. And I'm just dealing with the timing. Ken. All right. I'm just going to say Ken. Evening, Barry and all. I finally remembered. Glad you're here. 56 seconds. Says I'm still winning. We'll find out. Richard. Evening, everyone. Have you started on Mach 1? Well, yeah, I guess technically I have. I'm mocking up pieces, trying to verify pieces will, fit together. And glad you're here, Richard. So I will be working on a video for that this week. That'll be the upcoming video. 29 seconds. Let's see where we're at. 20 seconds. 17. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're still here. Hang on. It says 6 seconds. 0 seconds. Well, what? Okay, well, tell me that I win. It says closing and winning. Still says winning. So I hope that's a positive. Let's see. Troy. Come on. Okay. Troy, happy Monday from coastal Georgia. It's always a good day when Barry regales us with tales from the shop. Man, that's a big word. Thank you for that. Okay, I won the engine. It also comes with a transmission, like a big truck transmission, a supercharger, and a bunch of junk on top. So, woohoo! Guess what my winning bid was? Anybody can guess on this? You can guess what the winning bid was on looks like a complete Studebaker engine, transmission, a basket of miscellaneous stuff on top, and the supercharger. Any guesses? See if you can get a bell. Dave Britton says hello. Glad you're here, Dave. Now I got to wait for the other items. One is at 22 minutes out. So we still got a little bit of time, and the other one is 27 minutes. Okay. All right. Johnny V. Good evening, all. Glad you're here, Johnny. Denny Alvey. Good evening from Studebaker, Kentucky. Glad you're here, Denny. Whenever I went up there, I was trying to find somebody I was trying to remember who was up in Kentucky because I knew, I don't know if it's you or not, was in Paducah. And I wasn't too far from Paducah. I don't know for sure. E-Town is relative to Paducah, I guess. And I was like, man, I wish I could remember who it was. So I don't know if it was you or not, but if it is, I apologize for not being able to meet up with you. But glad you're here. Mr. Mikey, good evening, gang. Glad you're here. Richard, sorry didn't see the video. Okay, well, you can watch it later. It's a short video. It's a TikTok, so it's only a minute long. But I'm going to do a more detailed video of test fitting the pieces to show how I assemble it. And also some add-ons I've done to the jig itself. I had some issue, I felt like, with using the shock mount points because those could be different, let's say, between Dynacorn or stock or whatever. And I know that the pieces fit 2 cars. The pieces I put in fit 2 cars. But I modified it and I added what would have been technically jig points. So I saw a video of the rails that these cars used to ride on, and it defined the jig points and said this is what they built these cars specifically on. So they would have had a jig point at the rear by the shackle mount. Then they would have had a jig point at the forward end where the front spring eye mounts. They would have had another one at the floor support. And then there would have been another one at the front frame rail. I think there were 5 total. And at this point, I basically have 4 of those mocked up. Plus, I have side perches for the rocker panel, the inner and outer rocker panel. I have the side perches. And I also have the forward mounts for the steering box and the idler arm mount. So I have more than what's required. Rick, Charles owns the car. It's his money, therefore it's his decision. I'm sure he will enjoy it when you're done with it. That is absolutely correct. Leonard, Leonard says beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So yes, thank you, Leonard. Dawn's Manufactory, greetings from rainy PDX. Glad to hear, Dawn. I was watching your video earlier today, the one where you were taping up Betsy. And I was watching how you did that. And I liked your approach. And I know that I think you may have mentioned Jade in there talking about the door jams or something. I can't remember specifics. But I was thinking about the masking. And, there are different ways to mask. There are a variety of ways that you can mask off a vehicle. And your ways work just as well as any other, I thought. So, good video. If I didn't give you a bell, there's another bell. Crash Rider, good evening from Southern Indiana. Be sure to hit the like button. Yes. Let's see. Leonard. We said that already. Sorry. Jerry checking in. Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Please click on the like button for Barry. Yes, thank you. Denny Alvey, was it a McCulloch supercharger? They had 2 different superchargers available. And now that you said that, I've lost the other one in my mind. It's an S. It starts with an S. McCulloch and I can't remember the other one, but they had 2 available. So yeah, McCulloch was one of them. I can't believe I lost that other. What's the other name? I want to say something with SP, but I can't. It's evaded me at the moment. Yes, thank you, Leonard. Rick, okay, everybody, be careful. Do not bid against Barry. Yeah. EJ McConaughey. I don't know. Good evening, all. Glad you're here, EJ. Simone checking in. Good morning, Barry and chat. Yes, Simone is up very early. Glad you're here, Simone. Troy, I'm making my 65 the way I want it. Several people have made comments about not keeping it original, but it's my car and I'm doing it the way I want. Yes, I agree. I've said it before. I don't have issue with modifications. I really don't. However, it does get gray whenever you have a car that is in really kind of pristine condition. Like, I would have a hard time modifying this Cobra Jet if it just needed like a scuff and shoot paint job. I would really struggle with modifying something like that. Or, various other cars that are in the rare realm, but your typical cars need so much work anyway that most of them aren't considered, in my opinion, original per se. They're heavily modified already when you start cutting things out and putting things together. Simone, cool car behind you. Yes, thank you, Simone. That is my brother's 64 Studebaker Commander. Crash Rider, if you win, are you going to do the happy dance? Nope. I'm not going to do the happy dance. Leonard, stay with it. Yeah, I am. I got it. I got the, yeah, I want it. And we're going to find out. I'm going to tell you what I paid for it, too. Josh Anderson, good evening from Southwest Louisiana. I always enjoy your videos, Barry. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Okay. So, Dave Britton, $325. Nope. Too high. Troy Justin, $500. Way too high. Dominic. Glad you're here, Dominic. $679. Nope. However, I have one lottery playing that number. Just so you know, 679, that's a good number to play. Dawn's Manufactory, $125. Nope. Still too high. Yay. Roger says, I know. Yeah, I know you know. Let's see. Leonard, 5 bills. I'm not sure which 5 bills you referred to, but I'm going to say no. Josh is $1 bod. $1. Nope, not $1. Oh, $1 bid. Okay, yeah, no. You're closer though. You're right now. You're the closest. You are the closest. Crash Rider, my guess is $347. Roy Boy, $2,100. No. Mr. Mikey, $150 American. Still too high. Dave Conwell, $3,700. No, not even close. Paxton. That's it. I knew there was a P. I said S, and then I said sp. I had a P in there. So, yeah. Thank you, Dave. And also Roger said Paxton as well. Yeah. So it was McCulloch and Paxton were the two choices. As far as I understand it, that's what they were available on the Studebakers. Dave Tyson, good evening, all. Glad you're here, Dave. And Johnny, good news. The engine miss I had on my Mach 1 wannabe last week cleared itself up. Just needed to be run hard and blown out. It's an animal again. Nice. When all else fails, try to blow it up and see if that fixes it. Jerry, I would guess $100 for the engine, tranny, and the supercharger. Still too high. Good guess, though. Michael Pagliarini. Hello, all. Late to the party. Glad you're here, Michael. Terry Keithley, $40. You are really close. Really close. I'll just tell you, now you got to remember, it is a Studebaker engine, and unlikely that many people know what they're looking at or, have an interest in. I got it for $62.50 plus a 10% commission. So you figure another $6.20 on top of that. About $70. About $70. I'll take that for the win. I'll take that. Very happy with that. I got to check this other one. There's another lot where there's a bunch of license plates that I want, and it's going a little. It's still decent, but I've got 11 minutes to catch up on that one. So we're going to see what happens with that one. It's got some old license plates from Pennsylvania, a few other oddballs. I'd like to have those. I really would. Simone, Barry, I went for a drive yesterday in the Cortina and there was a very loud rattle under the car. I found that the engine mount rubbers have failed. Well, that's not surprising, but I'm sure hopefully they're still available and you can replace those. Dominic, I'm thinking California prices. LOL. Yeah, yeah. Troy Justin, you won it by giving the wife and the dog, and and you're going to miss the dog. No, Dawn, $55. You got really close. Did Paxton buy out McCulloch? I don't know for sure. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Dave Britton, you paid too much. I don't think so. Great buy, $62.50, $70. Yeah, and that even has the brackets and everything. It looks like for the supercharger. Now, I've already called the. I called this morning and talked to the auctioneer people, and I said, look, is somebody going to regulate how this gets? Because there's a slew of stuff in this space being sold, and I said, what are the odds that somebody comes in there and takes something? Because I would really be disappointed in a bad way if somebody got that supercharger. The other stuff I really wouldn't care about. I just want that supercharger. That's the thing. Chris, how's it going? Glad you're here, Chris. The great lukewarm north, I guess. I don't know how hot it is up there now. Dave Conwell, you want all that with pocket change? Did they advertise the auction at all? Yeah, they did. It's been up and available since April 30th. Let me tell you, there's some stuff on there that's going for dirt. I hate to say it. My brother had a Chrysler 300 convertible, like a 71, intact, solid car. Chrysler 300 convertible, yeah, blue, white interior, white top, and he stored it in a school bus up there. And he had cut the back end off and parked it inside. The last bid I saw on that was like $500 or $600. Yeah. Crazy. Chris, buffed and polished all day, ready for ceramicing and dyeing the seats tomorrow. All right, cool. Jerry, I was able to start the new rebuild on the inline 6 with the new cam on Sunday and broke it. And, okay, yeah. I think he meant broke it in. I don't want to hear you say I broke it. And broke it in, and the engine sounds really good. I can send a video on the exhaust sound at idle if you want. You could, but I don't know that I could play that. I don't think I could play it here. But you could send it to me. That would be fine. I might be able to play. Whoops. I might be able to. I got myself talking. I might be able to play it and let it come through the microphone. That would be the only way I could make it work, probably. Okay, so the other auctions, I have 7 minutes and 51 seconds left. Denny, Robert Paxton McCulloch, same guy. Interesting. Wonder why they had two different names, though. Because some of them I understood had Paxton on them, and some had McCulloch. So I don't know what the significance would be there. Oh, Nick. Sorry, Nick. Glad you're here, Nick. I saw your spoiler, your wing you were making for the for your Mustang. That looks pretty cool. Chris, 65 degrees, jean and t-shirt weather for this week. Oh, that's reasonable. I know that earlier, it was probably around 80 or so degrees today, and they're showing for this week nothing lower, between 65 and 86 degrees for the week, 88, so it's going to start getting really warm. But hey, that's how it works, right? Dave Britton, I was copying my father when I said you paid too much. Nothing is ever cheap enough for my dad. You actually stole it. Is it still mounted to the engine? It looks like it may be. I know I have a picture of it. I can't tell for sure from the pictures. Yeah, it may just be sitting there with the bracket and the pulleys. It's all sitting right there. So as long as nobody messes with it, I'll be happy. The supercharger, that is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they go for. Nick, oh man, you was about to get it for that. What? Oh man was about to get it for that buddy. Oh, okay. And Roger says, no, Dave, that's why it was a scavenger hunt to find it among the lots. Yes, Roger found it. I had breezed past that one, and he looked through all the pictures and spotted it. So kudos to him for finding it. Nick, I'm going to send you a pic of that. I want opinions. I just don't know if I want to put it on or not. I'm torn. Well, we don't want you to be torn, Nick. Okay, so I'm going to have to give me a couple minutes. 5 minutes left on the license plate bid. I have to probably sneak in a bid to make it work. Yeah, Nick, send me the picture. By all means. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I can play this or not. Hold on just a second. I got a lot of things going on here. So that's Jerry's car. I'll play it. There you go. Let me see if I can play it again. Wait. Come on, play. Well, oh, here we go. Ready? That sounds really good. That does sound really good. I'm glad you shared that with me. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I can get back to my main screen here. Okay, so we were able to hear that. That's awesome. But yeah, Nick, send me that picture and I'll post it up here. Let me see where I'm at. I've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Chris, Dave and I can attest this spring was a false positive after a false positive. Yeah, that's what we were seeing too. And Dave, apparently the mounts are hard to find. Oh, for the supercharger, yeah. Well, I know I can fabricate a lot of things, and I would probably figure it out if I had to. Let's see. Dawn says, sounds great, Jerry. I agree. Chris says, good sound. Dominic, very nice and deep for a 6. Yes. Nick says, sounds pretty dang good. Simone, that does sound good. And Leonard says, sounds great. I agree, 100%. Okay. Let's see if I can get this other one. All right. So, oh, it's going to make me do something stupid. Hold on. What? Give me a second. I have to experiment here. Whoops, don't want to put that much in. Hold on, let me see what I'm doing here. I'm getting all kinds of panic mode. I'm the high bidder. Currently, 1 minute, 36 seconds left. Whew. See what now the license plates, I might pay just as much for the license plates as I did for that engine. But it's okay because I want these license plates. I believe a couple of these had actually hung up in our in the garage. And that's kind of why I want these. I don't think they all did, but I think that some of these did hang up in the garage. You know, I've looked for years, and just to give you, you know, my brother and I, or my dad and brother would hang up oddball license plates from like dealers, and there's a license plate that has stuck with me for years. That I can't, I'll never forget this license plate and what it said. And it said, have a happy day in a Castelli Ford, Castelli. Now, I don't even know if there is a Castelli Ford anymore. This would have been from the 70s, maybe. And I don't know. I tried to find that plate, and I could never find it. I don't know if it's still there or if it got tossed. I don't know. But I always wanted that license plate. I thought it was just a catchy little thing. Oh, man, they're trying to outbid me. They're trying to outbid me. I don't know. Let's see where we're at. They're still trying to outbid me. Do they know who they're dealing with? I'm winning the bid right now. It's like they keep bumping the time back, though. I'm going to keep bidding. You know, somebody else wants those license plates too. And a lot of those are, you know, they're hard to find. Some of these are early. Like one of them I think is from 54. There's another one from I don't know, earlier. 51 seconds left. All right, so we're going to see if Nick has sent me that picture or not. Okay, good. And I'll download those. I have 38 seconds left. I've got to bid again. Man, they're going to make me really earn this. I'm going to make them earn it. Let's put it that way. How about that? How about that? I'm bidding too much on these license plates now. I can tell you that for a fact. I'm going to download these pictures that Nick has sent me. 1 minute, 2 seconds left. 59. Oh, man. You know what? I'm tired of playing with these people. I'm going to spend more on some license plates than I did on a complete engine. If it goes over what I'm bidding, I just bid $110 on some license plates. I'm still winning, but good grief! Look, they outbid me again. You know, why am I doing this? Do I really want these? The bid's $120 already. Well, we'll find out. I'm not going any higher. I bid $135. I don't want to. I won't go any higher. If they outbid me now, they can have it. They can have it. I'll be done. All right. So let me clear up some stuff so I can pull up Nick's pictures. Let me see where we're at. I know I have to get rid of some items. And while we're talking about this, I want to make sure. Yeah, they're bidding $140. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. They can have it. Not worth it. Um, yeah. No. I can get license plates. Let's see here. I got to download some of these pictures from Nick. Good grief. Hard to believe. And I saw Rick had commented, yeah, it's sad you have to bid on your brother's stuff. I agree. It is. Okay, I got one more to download. It should all be up here in just a second. Man. Somebody still bidding on it? Yeah, they can have it. They can have it. Okay. I got the supercharger. That's what I wanted. So let's look at Nick's picks. Nick's picks. So this is the spoiler or wing that he's working on for his Mustang. Let me see a different angle. All right, one more angle here. Oh, that is kind of cool, Nick. Now, are those adjustable or those fixed angles? I kind of like that, honestly. Let me see where we're at. Yep, I was outbid. All right. Let me see if the other item I'm still following. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that too much either. Where's it at? That one. Sorry. Trying not to get too distracted here, but oh, well, I won the other box. Yeah, I'll tell you about that one in a minute. I'm not sure exactly what I'm getting in that box, but it was a suitcase. It looks like it's got old um, manuals in it, like your owner's manual that you would have in cars. I think it's a collection of those in that box. And I won that one. It was actually a suitcase, old suitcase. I won that one for $2.50. So I'll take that. Okay. Whew. We're done. So anyway, let's go back to these pictures that Nick was saying. So I do like the way this looks. That looks really well made, Nick. Yeah, I do like that. Okay. Let's go back up here and see where we're at. So Chris is asking, is it a wing or a like NASCAR tail spoiler? Well, it's a little bit of both. Dominic says, Jerry, what is your warm idle RPMs? Leonard says, any Ford stuff in there? Probably some oddball stuff, but nothing I could point at and say this is definitely for this or that. Nick, ducktail with gurney flaps. Okay. Dave Britt and I have been busy working and missed quite a few things I bid on before. Yep. And Nick says, yeah, sort of NASCAR. It is sort of NASCAR. I like it. Jerry says, Dominic, 180 degrees, about 900 RPMs. And he's asking about timing. And Chris Greenaway says, low profile race. Sorry, I showed the pictures, but Dave says, soft close auction extends the time. Yeah, I figured that out. Nick, a little over 4 inches tall, won't be super functional, honestly. I don't want a super tall one either, which is my conundrum. Another big word tonight. I do like the way it looks, though. And I like the way you cut it to match the kind of the shape of the quarters on top. At least that's the appearance I get. I would question whether it's. Well, it looks like. I wouldn't want it sticking out over the quarters very much. I would probably try to tuck it in a little shorter myself rather than have it stick out past the drop off of the quarters. But that's just me. That's just me. Steve's Money Pit. Morning all. Thumbs up for Barry's jig. Can't watch live today. Attending a conference. I'll watch tonight. Okay. Glad you checked in, Steve. Jerry's responding to Dominic. 4 degrees advanced. Full power 30 degrees at 4,000 RPMs for full power. Chris. Very great job on the Broncos. Slightly jelly of the paint quality for a off-roader. Thank you, Chris. I think it turned out pretty well. Dave, with most online auctions a bid last minute. Ad time. Yep. Simone asked, which car is it for, Barry? I don't know which question you're referring to. Are you referring to the supercharger? That's for that car. The other one was the license plates. So, Rick, I'm sorry you have to bid on your brother's stuff. That's a shame. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. I'm not going to try not to dwell on that too much. Chris says, Nick, the low-profile ones, if the metalwork around it is proper, then I'm all for it. Yeah. Leonard, going once, going twice, sold. Yep. Chris, Nick, like a 72 to 79 Pontiac-esque spoiler. Rick, sounds like the person bidding against you was using some kind of sniping software. It automatically bids till the very end. It could be, and you could do the same thing. I could have bid $150, and it would have just brought it up in $5 increments. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Colin, hey everyone, big weekend for me. Engine mounted, steering column and shifter installed. Thumbs up. Hope all is well. Thank you, Colin. Glad you're here. And Nick says they're fixed at 65 degrees. Dave Britton, for me, I can really only tell when it is on the car. Yeah. Well, I like it on the deck lid. I think it looks nice. Troy says, Nick, my vote is no, but it's your car and do what makes you happy. Well, you have to remember, this car is not in the stock realm of things. He's already modified a bunch of stuff on the car, so it probably would go well with the modifications. Nick, I can make them adjustable. I don't know if I like the mounts, honestly. Yeah, that's the only thing I would be concerned about is how you attach it to the deck lid. Now, obviously, you could do some trickery if you wanted to. It would take a lot more effort to make cutouts. Just saying, like the Bronco had door hinges where the hinge sunk into the door itself. You could kind of make a relief hole in your deck lid. Don't want to do that. And work it so it goes inside somehow. You've got that inner structure. I don't know if you could use that inner structure to create a trough for it to sit in and then bolt it to the inner structure. It would be kind of trick looking. Take a little work, but just a suggestion. Cargo Troy just got here. What you buying? Bidding on? I actually bought items from my brother's place in Pennsylvania. Bought a Studebaker engine and supercharger and a transmission, like a big truck transmission. I have no use for that. It's a boat anchor as far as I'm concerned. But it's stuff that could have been on this car, and I kind of want to put those pieces back together. Chris looks good on the bench, but I need to see it on the car. Yep. Rick, all right. Whoever is bidding against Barry, fess up. Who was it? Yeah. Johnny, 65 degrees. Isn't that more like an air brake than a spoiler? I like the mounts. I don't know that I'd call it be an air brake. I think the angle is decent when you look at it in this picture. I don't know. It's for downforce. It's to help gain traction, right? Not just for looks. Nick, yeah, as low profile as it is, it really won't do a whole lot. But if functions slightly as both. There are some proven ones that are similar that do work. Yeah. Dawn, while another weather cell blowing through. Oh, geez. I know Terry had said that there was a big storm or something came through where he was. Knocked over a tree and without power for like 24 hours. Good time weather out there. Nick, it ends right at the body line. Okay. Simone says, yeah, the plates, I had no idea. Sorry. Now I missed the rest of the question. Oh, the license plates. Yeah, they're vintage plates. They're old plates from Pennsylvania. So there was I know there was a bicentennial plate. There was a 54. I can't remember what all, but there's a bunch of old plates. Yeah. Next, sorry for my typos. That's all right. I wouldn't have enough time for that. They're wanting to paint it in the next week or so. It would have to be fairly simple if there was any changes. Yeah, but boy, that looked trick though, wouldn't it? If you could build the brackets inside, yeah, that might be kind of a tight squeeze. You'd almost have to make them billet kind of thing to make it be able to slip in easily and mount to the trough inside the inner structure. Never mind. I was just being overly creative. Okay. Well, now that the auctions are caught up, we're okay. We're okay. I won a couple things. The important one was that engine, and the other one is that just kind of secondary, maybe not that important at all. But hey, if I got to go get something, I may as well get some of these other places. Car guy Troy can't tell what the car behind you is. Studebaker didn't know they had supercharger, etc. on those. Yeah, this is my brother's 64 Studebaker Commander / Special. From what I've gathered, somebody else had on a Studebaker forum had said this is a special. So it was a 289. We assume 289 car with a factory 3-speed on the column, and my brother put a 4-speed in it. And at one point it had a supercharger on it. And if you look up, if you really want to get some information about Studebakers, one thing you can look up is the Flying Tomato. Trust me, look up the Flying Tomato. Try to find a video on that. Not now, later on. The Flying Tomato. I think it's a 63 Studebaker with an R2 package that Granatelli Brothers put together. That was R2, had the Avanti engine in it with a supercharger on it. And you could actually order Studebakers with superchargers way back in the 50s. Yeah, you could order back in the 50s. These cars, from what I've learned, and I'm pretty positive of this, all of the engines, I believe, I saw somewhere where they were all built capable of handling a supercharger, because they didn't know which engine might end up with a supercharger on it. That is just what I've heard. I don't know for sure. So, but these cars were incredible as far as what engines you could get in them with the supercharger and packages and stuff. Now, I will say this. Like I said, I have a video that I'm going to put out on this car, and this thing has the goofiest steering of any car that I've seen. Roger's seen it. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know where they got this engineering from. Your typical anything car built in this ever has a steering box and a with a pitman arm and an idler arm, and you have a drag link, and then tie rods that connect to the drag link, and everything goes back and forth. Well, you have to see this thing. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine. There is a idler arm in the center of the forward cross member, and two really long tie rods that connect to the steering. I don't know how they got the geometry right. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then it's got like this other rods and stuff that go up to. It's just really really weird, really weird. And then the suspension in the front, while it does have an upper and lower control arm, it's got like a kingpin, kind of like something the Model A would have had, like a kingpin assembly. Really odd design. I guess they had their reason for it, but it's really weird. Chris, Nick, could you move them out about a half an inch from the deck on the side, cut it to the deck lid, then tack it to the top of the deck lid and bottom? I think that thing's probably made out of aluminum. I think. Dave Britton, would be your luck that some of those plates are very desirable and worth $100 each, or something silly like that. Yeah, could be. Nick, I mean, I could make it motorized if I wanted, but time is a lacking. Yeah, I understand that. Chris says, or 1 inch. Okay. Dave Britton, the Studebaker was the closest thing to a Cobra before the Cobra was created. You know, I can't really argue that. They did some incredible stuff with the engine packages. Roger and I saw a race. It was on a Studebaker. I looked up 64 Studebakers, and I found this guy in Australia who has a bunch of them, and he gives some really great insight into the whole history of the car and stuff. And he's got some video clips of some vintage road course racing where there is a 64 Daytona or whatever, and it is racing against, I believe, a 64, maybe a 63 Ford Galaxy 500. You don't realize how big that Galaxy is until you put it next to this car. This thing is, I mean, it's smaller overall, and they were racing, and the guy in the Studebaker wasn't playing. They started getting close to each other, and they actually bumped into each other, and then kept on racing. But man, that thing was tearing up the track. It wasn't stock, it was custom. I think that one actually had a Chevy engine in it, and a Ford rear end, and all that stuff. But still, it looked really cool. But look up the Flying Tomato when you get a chance. Leonard Barry, I've had guys ask why I'm taking all the chrome. I just want a plain Jane Torino. Taking off all the chrome. Oh, okay. Well, hey, nothing wrong with that. You can make it more slick. Dave Britton, the Studebaker is one of the most underrated cars in the world, if you ask me. I would agree. It was they definitely were ahead of their time in a lot of things. Next commenting to Chris. I'm going to have to skip past that one. Definitely open to suggestions on the wing. Roger, yes, steering is amazing engineering. Yeah. It's definitely different. Dave Tyson, all Studebaker V8s have forge rotating assembly. See? Nick says the brackets are 304 stainless steel and spoiler is 6061 aluminum. Yeah. And Chris, you can read that if you want. I'm going to have to skip over that. There's a lot going on there. Troy, I think I remember hearing about the Flying Tomato. That steering sounds way over-engineered. Maybe do something else with would it fit or something weird. Have to look that one up in my old motors manuals. Yeah, it's a definitely a different, totally different thing. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking, other than they were trying to get in front of the oil pan. So it must have had a rear sump like a Chevy, and they decided not to modify anything else. And hey, we could just get around it by doing this. I don't know. It's really bizarre. I hate to think about the idea of changing up what's there, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, okay, it's got this weird kingpin-like suspension on the spindle. Is that practical now? Does it make sense? The steering is really bizarre. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'll look into it a little more and see what other people are doing. I'm not against customizing it if it need be. I'd rather keep it the way it is, but you never know. The car, there's nobody looking to spend 15,000 on a fully restored one of these. I can tell you that. There is nobody out there going, I will give you so much money for that car because it's what it is. There's nobody. There's the market for this is only it's very limited. Like there's not a market like people dying to buy these cars at a high price. Chris, and put your mounting hardware underneath. I'll talk to Nick. Chris Greenway, Leonard, what year's yours? A 73 coupe or fastback? And it is a fastback. Dave Britton, that Galaxy was white. If so, I have seen it and it rips. I think the races are in England. Yes, yeah, it was like a Wimbledon white Galaxy. And you know what? I will say, these cars actually look pretty cool without the front bumper or the rear bumper on them. There's very little. The openings are pretty small, and would be easy to cap off, just like that one they had in the race. And it looks pretty slick without that bumper on it. Just saying. Let's see. Chris is asking, are you removing the salt catchers at the bottom? And Leonard, Dave, I've seen that video. It was wild. Yeah. Okay. Removing the salt catchers. That's another thing for Leonard. Isaac, just checking in. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Isaac. Glad you're here. Dawn's Manufacturing. Goodwood Track in UK. Cool racing videos. Yes. You know, speaking of, since we got kind of sidetracked onto racing stuff, I know that I haven't watched NASCAR in years, and I just haven't. I've lost interest in it. Apparently there was a pretty good race this weekend in Kansas, and I guess afterward there was a fight or whatever. And, friends are telling me that it was a good race, and I appreciate that. It probably really was a good race. But lately, I've been seeing clips of racing that I would love to see in person. It's one thing to see stadium trucks, right? You know, the stadium trucks where they're inside on a dirt course and they're racing inside a big arena or whatever, or like the Baja type trucks. You know, they're based on that style. But they race those things on the road, on pavement. And these guys, I will say, it's impressive. You know, it's one thing to have a low body car with spoilers and air dams and, you know, all these things that help it get through the air. But it's a whole different animal when you have a truck. And not only that, but they're racing these things, and on the course are jumps. You know, if NASCAR put in jumps, I would be watching every week. I would love to see a jump in NASCAR. But these trucks, oh my goodness. They come out of a turn and they lift up, you know, if they're doing a left turn, they're pulling the inside wheel off the ground like they're at a late model dirt track event. It's incredible, what they're doing with these trucks. And I think it's fantastic. So Chris is saying you need the boomerang around the window. However, if you painted the chrome around the glass black, it makes it mean. Okay, there you go. Richard, the 53 Studebaker Starlight Coupe is a great looking car, way ahead of its time. That is probably my favorite Studebaker. I really like that car, 53, 54. And also, I have this weird affection for the 59 Lark. The car that's about that long that you could get with a V8 engine in it. Yeah, the little stubby Lark. I like the way those look, especially the two-door hardtop. Man, I just like that little, I don't know, Professor Gadget-looking car. The little stubby Lark. Isaac says, sorry, Southwest Florida. Oh, SWFL. I didn't know what that meant, but thank you for clearing that up. All right, Leonard's talking to Chris. Nick, also opinion on a paint. I have a fiberglass rear bumper. Body man is trying to convince me to paint it a sort of a satin gray. I was going to do body color since I don't have a front bumper. Okay. What's the body color? Tell us that. Nick, plus I would think that would frame the taillight panel better in color. I don't think the gray would look horrible. Um, you could go either way. I kind of like the satin gray. What color's the car going to be, though? We need to clear that up. Um, I kind of like this that satin gray look. I guess it depends too. If the tail panel is probably going to be body color, I assume. Do you have chrome on the deck lid? I know when we were looking at that picture, it appears you have the holes for the chrome. So are you going to have the chrome on the deck lid? There's a question for you. And or you could. That's going to be part of it too, Nick. If you're going to use that chrome around the deck lid and the taillight extensions or quarter extensions, you could almost do the trim in satin gray as well to kind of frame the tail panel and the taillights. I don't know. Just something to think about. But I forgot. Yeah, you said it's orange. Whoops. It's that orange. Yeah. Yeah, you got to think about what the chrome is doing. You got to think about what the chrome is doing for sure. Chris, NASCAR is no longer NASCAR after Dale Earnhardt died is beginning of the end. Beginning of the end. The personalities are gone. The names there won't be there much longer. Tony Stewart doing Top Fuel, etc. Yeah, that's what I mean. I just when I started doing breaks in the middle for snacks and stuff, I guess for the millennials, back in the day, these guys would be out there just beating themselves to death to try to finish a race. I don't know. I haven't watched it much. I know that they do some sort of pit stop thing in the middle and they play hokey pokey or something. I don't know. Try to get more entertainment out of it. I don't know. Dave, the Aussie racing is absolutely crazy. All sorts of Mustangs, Camaros, Falcons, Capris, and so on. Very hard racing. Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, those trucks. I love those trucks. Leonard, where you're getting rear quarter glass, and it, again, says it's that orange color. Okay, so we had Leonard. Next is tail panel will be SAM black, like the hood and top fenders. That's the old trunk just for Mach. Okay. Well, no chrome. That kind of takes away from that whole aspect. Then, gosh, I don't know, Nick. I'll tell you what you do. You get one fiberglass bumper painted orange, and you get another one painted satin, and then you could swap them back out and make it feel like you got a whole different car. How about that? Let's see, Nick. Well, the front and rear glass stainless will be on it. Yeah, but that's not really gonna make much difference on the bottom. So, bottom side. Cherry checking in. Howdy, Barry. Howdy, y'all. Just checking in from a way too quiet house. I'm sure Robert would be here to say hi, but it's 3 a.m. for him. He is having a great time, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank you for that update. I have seen pictures of food. Ed Cucciarella, there's no overtime in racing, but NASCAR has it. Yeah, well, that's because they want somebody. They may want somebody to win. Nick says, "Thanks, happy helper ton." Okay. Leonard says, Barry, I got some filler today. It is Overcoat Extreme. What's your take on it? Overcoat Extreme. That's a good filler. I use Rage Ultra, but that's anything Evercoat makes is a good product. So yeah, you're good with that. You're good with that. Okay, I posted a comment on. Oh, Simone says good night. Good night, Simone. Glad you're here. Um, yeah, Nick says good night. I don't know if he's talking to me or Simone, but okay. So I posted a comment on my community page, and I'm open to advice. I'm open to. My thoughts were, I know that the stuff going on with YouTube, I compete with all kinds of goofy stuff. If you ever seen the movie Idiocracy, that's kind of what I'm competing with now. Um, but the reality is, in that competition, it doesn't matter how good a video I put out or how much effort I put into it. If people are wanting to watch goofballs blowing cars up or whatever, I don't, whatever they want to watch. So I've had a couple thoughts about this. I have, if I don't even remember exactly how many, like 1,000 videos on YouTube, like literally. And I look at my numbers and I look at what's going on, and I've got like 20 million views. And I see other people who have 147 videos and they have 15 million views. It drives me crazy. And I'm like, what is going on here? So one idea that I've had was to possibly make my channel more membership driven. I know it doesn't sound cool, and I get it. But the reality is, with 62,000 subscribers, and I get barely 1,000 views on a video, well, that kind of tells me I have 1,000 people that are interested in what I'm doing. Really, that's what it tells me. So one idea was to make it a membership driven type of thing, and maybe make it as simple as like $3 a month or something like that. And then what I would do is take and eliminate the ads from the videos. And I know some people they pay for YouTube Premium or whatever, and they don't get ads anyway. But the reality is, YouTube, whatever money I actually generate, they take half of it, right down the middle. Seems fair, yeah. With the membership stuff, they actually take 30%, better than half. So that is one idea that I've kind of played with. Another idea that I'm playing with is possibly, because I had several people tell me they don't like when I start on a project and I move to something else. And I get that. They want to see it completed, or they want to see a series of videos working on that project. Sometimes it's out of my control. Sometimes I just have to, go where people are paying me to do stuff. And that's just how it works. But I'm considering pulling old videos off of YouTube. There's a bunch of Mustang videos. There is various other vehicles. And I'm thinking about, I've already created another YouTube channel that may be just dedicated to Mustangs. I have these other channels. Like, I have 3 channels now. That's all you can really have. And I'm thinking that I may the other channel I have. I forget what I think I labeled it Classic Mustang Rebuilds. I don't know what other name to use that would mean anything less than that or anything more than that. But if I did that, if I made the channel Classic Mustang Rebuilds, and I pull the old Mustang videos like Mystique, if I pull all the Mystique videos off and I just push them into that channel, the possibility is that I would get more new viewers. I might get some old viewers, but I might get some new viewers who have never seen this stuff before, and that might create more of an interest because it's a focus channel rather than here where I'm going to have, I've got the Bronco, which a lot of people weren't really interested in apparently, the Mach 1, the Camaro, all those different things that are diverse. And so if I don't want to narrow that down on this channel because it's my garage. It's what I do in my garage. But I'm really thinking if I maybe create that channel that's just for Mustang stuff and push those into that channel. Now, it would take a while to build a base, but really subscribers is I'm sure I could probably get a bunch of people to go over and subscribe to that channel to help build it. because you have to have so many subscribers before you can generate revenue. I think it's 1,000. But if I did that, then that channel would be solely focused on Mustang stuff. I don't know. Just an idea. Just an idea. And I don't know if it's worth the effort or not, but that's where I'm at the moment, because I'm trying to figure out a way, again, to make it worth my while. Because the reality is, and I've said this, and I've pointed this out before, the revenue is eh. And honestly, for what I do, the revenue generated on for me on YouTube works out to be about $34 a day. That's the truth. $34 a day is what it comes out to be. You're like, what? Yeah, yeah, and that's frustrating when it comes down to it. Now, granted, I like to have people have information. I want people, I want people to learn from this stuff. But that's what I'm considering, is doing some variations on my channel and what I'm doing moving forward. So, anyway, give me some insight on that if you want. Jerry says, yeah, he better bring you back some of that ice cream. Yep. And Nick is still here. Sorry, Nick. Simone gives a hand wave. Leonard saying goodnight to Simone. Troy, yeah, it is Kingpins. Looks like something off a old Ford truck, sort of. Bizarre. Yes, it is a really weird setup. And I can't say that it's the best thing that they could have. Chris, I'm sorry NASCAR really doesn't help itself. The drivers, in my opinion, are good, but it's not as intense. Plus, NASCAR has too many rules now where it basically doesn't come off from... Yeah, it doesn't come from the manufacturer. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's illegal. Yeah. As Dale Jr. said, if your crew chief isn't trying to cheat the system, then it's not racing. It is about outsmarting your opponent. I agree. It's not just about driving. It needs to have everything together as a team. Leonard, whatever you decide, I am there. Thank you, Leonard. Rick, rename the Crunchy Cobra videos to Will It Run and Drive when I'm done. It will come up in people's searches when they look for the goofy stuff. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Leonard says, what about basket case? Yep, I might consider just pushing basket case over to the other channel too. I might. I think it may be my approach to narrowing the focus, And I would probably label it, like right now the channel is called Classic Mustang. What did I name it? I think it's Classic Mustang Restoration is what or Classic Mustang Rebuilds. Okay. That is the channel. There's some videos on there that are old videos that I had for more personal use. But I may label it a little more defined to say Classic Mustang Rebuilds something Joe Daddy's Garage, or by Joe Daddy, something like that, to where you'll still see me say the same thing. I always say, hey, welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. But then it would be, a more narrow focus on the Mustangs in particular. Cobra is a 8-inch Ford rear end stronger than a 9-inch, or was the 9-inch used just because of a better gear selection? I would say the 9-inch is stronger, my opinion. Chris, NRHA will also die because that racing, it's all deepest pocket and there's no little guys. Then the racing scene right now is in the no prep. Yeah. Well, yeah. Nick, I love the Bronco. Also wish I could afford one. Haha, holy moly, was that sticker shock when I looked into them. Yep, they add up quick. Colin, I joined a membership, follow a new channel center, I love all the videos and post, and I always want more. Okay. Thank you, Colin. Appreciate that. Rick says, repost a Joe McMuffin video. Yeah. Nick, I don't know. Top Fuel doesn't seem to be going anywhere. At least in St. Louis, the track is friggin' packed every year. Rick, rename the Joe Daddy's Garage to Classic Mustang Rebuilds and come up with another channel. This way you keep all your subscribers. Well, that would... Yeah, I mean, I get that. And I don't know that would work exactly like I want it to. because Joe Daddy's Garage has so many other things. I've got Chevelles, I've got brake jobs, I've got modern stuff. I've got a whole variety of videos on there. But if I do the Classic Mustang Rebuilds channel, that narrows it down. That narrows it down. So people would be, hopefully more interested in that. Nick says, got to go. Back to work. Lunch is over. Have a good one, y'all. Glad you're here, Nick. Appreciate it. Chris says, Nick, it was better when the street guys could build one, but since the big guys come in, it was the end. Now it's only so many people on the national level. Yep. Lynn, if gambling in NASCAR catches on, they will have to have old school type racing like the yellow flag to bunch the cars up is BS. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so I mean those are some of the thoughts I have right now. I think let's just put it in perspective on the whole channel stuff. If I switched over to memberships, or if I only made certain videos available to members, right? I know I'd probably lose people. As I said before, subscribers only count when you reach 1,000. That's the only time it counts. After that, your numbers don't matter. Subscriber count, you can have 1 million subscribers. It doesn't matter unless you have every one of them watch your videos. That's what they want. They want your eyes on the video. So subscriber numbers don't really matter until unless you get to 1,000. Then it starts to generate revenue. So if I were to make it a membership thing and it was like $3 a month, if I had 1,000 subscribers, or members, let's say, paying $3 a month, which is cheap, and then YouTube takes their cut. So you start off at $3,000 and you go to $2,700. The other bad part about that is, they don't take out taxes, so all that has to go on to taxes as well. But that would be $2,700 versus $1,100 that I'm making now. See, that's where my thoughts are. Make sense? Just my thoughts. Just where I'm at with it right now. But I am leaning towards pulling the old Mustang videos and putting it on the Classic Mustang Rebuild by Joe Daddy. Something like that. So, just where my mind is right now. Chris says racing is only good when someone off the street can get into it with their means, but no prep is on fire because everyone can partake with their means. Yep. Charles, really, really late? Yeah, I'm not going to be here much longer. I can hear it. My voice is starting to go. And Leonard says, yeah, you see what I'm saying? Because the reality is, if I only have a 1,000 views, that means there's only really 1,000 people to look at my videos when it comes down to it. Rick set up a low buck club similar to a pole barn garage is doing. He charges $2 a month, something everybody can afford. Well, see, I haven't looked at that, guys, what he is or what is going on. But yeah, if it's, maybe it would help. I don't know. Rick, if 10% of your subscribers join, you'll have it made. Yeah, if 10% join. If 10% join. Charles, when the CJ is no longer crunchy, maybe we can give a more appropriate name. Yeah, it can be changed. Dave Tyson, I like all your stuff. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. Troy, shorts seem to be a big deal. Just have to do a lot of them to count, is what it seems. I don't know how all that works exactly. Would like to know, though. Cool to hear talk about the YouTube channel stuff. Well, yeah, well, see, YouTube Shorts, because I put out shorts. I do. I put out shorts, and I try that with the TikTok stuff and all that. And I can tell you, generally, a YouTube short generates about 25 cents. Yeah, that's it. That's all it makes. 25 cents. That's all it gets. Honestly, on this channel, my most viewed videos are, one of them is the metal bender. That's like one of my high speed videos. The other ones are where I've done basic body work on a fender, uh, changing a broken lug nut stud. Yeah, I get thousands of views on that video. Uh, Most of the Mustang stuff isn't even in the top 10. That's the truth. Chris Berry, I think you are skilled work, but your video formation is niche in the fact that you do it right. Yeah, I know, and that's where I have to. There's other ways to do it. Like there's other companies out there. They have a dedicated their own page, right, where they put you have to subscribe to uh, their web page specifically to get their videos. I don't have the background for that. I don't have the support for that, so I can't do that. Terry, Betty and I would join. Says Betty and I would join for $3 per month. Well, thank you, Terry. I mean, that's $3 a month. I can't say that's a bad deal. And if I can do it to where I had enough people sign up for the membership, I would turn off all the commercials on those videos. So I'm just hoping I get more feedback, even from this live stream. If people watch it, they give me more feedback on this. Because there's still some stuff I have going on. I have decided to attempt to add some more footage to my videos. I have some people complain that my videos aren't long enough. And I guess the reality is I purposefully try to put in a good bit of information in a 10 to 15 minute video. Okay? But a lot of people would say they want a 30-minute video instead of a 10 to 15-minute video. So I know there's other people, they put in goofy stuff in the middle somewhere. They might stop. Oh, we're having lunch today. Here's a order from Domino's. I don't like to. I'm not that. I don't want to do that. But I guess it shows a side of life that they can relate to, right? Because we're all doing stuff, and we want to. Hey, it's time for a break. Whatever. But I'm going to add another camera to try to get different angles more, so I can film. I may try to film not only a longer sequence of an assembly process, but also like I'll have one camera set up, say here, looking at car, and then have my other camera to where I can use it around the car type of thing. So I'm going to try to experiment a little bit and see if that helps. I don't want to have to force a thing to where people are having to pay to see this stuff. But the reality is, it adds up. It all adds up. Let's see. Are cats free? Well, yeah, cats are free. I hate to bring it up. You brought up cats. Unfortunately, my wife had to put down one of her cats today. Kind of a sad thing. I mean, I'm not a cat person, but I can appreciate her love for the animals, what she does to take care of them. And, I feel bad that she had to do that. But the cat had issues and was kind of in a position of being untreatable. So she made the call, and she put one of the cats down today. So I know it's not what you want to hear, but that's kind of where I'm at. Dave Britton, not sure if anyone ever watches Customs. Did you see his garage burnt to the ground? Curious to see how the insurance handles it. I don't watch that channel, so I don't know anything about it. Rick, I just watched that metal bending video last night. I also rewatched the lug nut video. Yeah, they're popular. 68 Orange Crate, you should be compensated. I'm in. Okay. Chris, Barry, the problem is you're very specific, trying to send someone to the right path of how to do it right. People don't want to see it anymore. Also, I break your videos down in segments to gain the knowledge more evenly as your wealth of knowledge, and so much in a 15-minute video. Well, and maybe that's something I need to do is slow down the process and make a longer video. You know, I want people to gain that knowledge. I want people to have confidence in working on their cars and understanding what they need to do to make it happen. You know, a lot of people buy a project and they get lost in it, you know, or they get overwhelmed. And if I can show them ways to get around it and fix it and keep their project alive, I feel good about that. But, you know, maybe I need to stretch it out a little bit more, slow it down a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to try some different things. Leonard, the Franken truck is tops in my book. Well, thank you, Leonard. That was a interesting build. Isaac, we are a dying breed. Younger generation has an attention span of a gnat. Yeah, that's you're not wrong. Lynn, it's all about the algorithms, whatever that means. Yeah. Troy, the vids that seem to come up my feed the most are 30 to 45 minutes, lots of views. I would think the longer someone stays engaged, the more YouTube likes it. So maybe that's what they push them on the feed. Well, you know, I will do that. I will push to make a longer video. Speaking of the next video that I will have, probably the next video that I will edit down is the road trip video for picking up the Studebaker. And then I do an overview of the car and discuss pieces of it and issues of it. And there's some stuff that I didn't even cover in the video because I just thought about it. There's some rust issues that I have not pointed out. But that'll be a bit longer video, I think. Evans Garage, I'm just a few minutes late. Glad to see you're still going tonight. Yeah, I don't know how much longer my voice is starting to go. I can tell it's starting to get rough. Chris says, Isaac, I'm 23. Yeah, glad you're still doing it, Chris. Dave, that burned garage video made me think of your shop and was wondering if you disconnect the batteries when you leave the car sit. Actually, I do. I disconnect a lot of stuff. I mean, I try not to have anything really plugged in. Well, I mean, plugged in, yes, but not like battery type things. So, Charles, 30 to 45 minutes for instructional with part 1, 2, 3, etc. as needed. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. And I do realize that I kind of go off on different tangents on occasion. You know, working on something different. Leonard, I watch Fitzy's, and his videos are usually over an hour. Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. He does put out some good stuff. Colin, sent some photos of my progress. Hope you think we did a good job. Let me see. See if I can find it. There we go. Yeah, let me pull those up. We're probably not going to go much longer. Let me. Oh, by the way, if you all haven't, check out the video I did on the Model A, where I put that car cover on. If you have not gone to that and made a selection for a car cover for your car, by all means, go do that. It's really easy. Go to the website, and when you click on the car cover on the side, I didn't detail this very well. On the right side, it says details. If you click on details, that gives you the SKU number, SKU, that tells you the part number for your cover. So if you are if you want a car cover, you know, you could win it. Then that's what you have to do. Give me that information, and I can then you're in the drawing. So, and it's anybody, you know, Roger. If you want a cover for your truck, you could win that. All right, so we had Colin sent some pictures. me pull that down. Yeah. That looks pretty good. I like it. Yeah, that looks good. Nice and clean inside. Yep. 2 bells. Good job. All right. Rick, I could send you the trunk lid for my 65 from when it hit the tree. You can make a video on how to fix it. Would be an interesting challenge for you. It is original Ford metal. You know, I can't say that I could fix it, but I probably could fix it. Just saying. I like challenges. Evans, when I watch at night, I'm more likely to fall asleep during longer videos and you watch later. More views. Okay. Dave, I really wonder if you took your cars to the track and got some quarter-mile times, if it would boost your views. I bet a ton of people would watch the Model A go down the strip. Yeah, that would be a long video. Curious to see what it would do. It wouldn't do much. I can tell you that. Chris is better. I think 17, 25 minutes, 3 ads per video works out better. Slower pace, the knowledge would seep in more, I guess. Granted, then you throw in more theory and historical stuff in the shorter videos. Okay, not a bad idea. Leonard, give thumbs up. Yes, Dave Britton saw it. Good video. Chris, sorry, no offense, but you are probably, it says a few, but glad to hear you're into it. Yep. 69 Stang, I went there and bought a cover after your video. In the comment for my order, I said it came there from Joe Daddy. Awesome. Says Mustang looking good. Yes, it is. He did a good job on that. Chris says, well, I grew up in a factory town where every worker had one nice driveway princess. And Roger, Model A timed with a calendar in the quarter mile. Yes. Yeah, and there's no drag strips around here to actually do that. So I guess I would have to find a section of road that I could get on and play with it. But probably not going to happen. Okay. Thank you for the input on all this stuff. I am going to call it a night. I am still debating on how I'm going to manage future videos, whether I pull some of the old stuff and start a whole new channel and get it out there, and see what happens. But I just gotta change some stuff up. It's just apparently I'm not goofy enough. I'm too practical, I guess. I don't know. I'm too focused. But that'll be it for tonight's session. We are actively looking for a camper still. We're trying to find one. We'll keep updates on that as well. And other than that, I'll be working on the Cobra Jet the rest of the week. So that'll be it for tonight. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.